'Cause I'm the weatherman. Oh, my thunderstrike, ride out the storm. I'm the weatherman. Oh, my breaking light, shake up the world. I'm the weatherman.
I simply use my professional title in this realm. I guess I'll let you open up if you want to ask for introductions or whatever you prefer, how you prefer to do this.
Absolutely, Doctor. Well, we'll start with your name, your organization name, and of course your position to get started.
Okay, so to slide out of that order, but I am Dr. Sage Barville. I am the director for client services for Care Mining and Reclamation.
Okay. Well, what is the main focus of your organization?
Care Mining and Reclamation is a contract mining and salvaging entity. We operate out of the Stanton system primarily, but we are most of our work takes place outside of Stanton in uncontrolled areas of space. We pride ourselves on being able to operate in less permissive environments, and we bring a lot of people who have experience in a variety of backgrounds that allow us to safely operate in environments that are less conducive to most economic activities.
Interesting. So, you primarily work outside of Stanton. How are you handling the jump points being shut down with the quarantine? And has this affected your business model any?
So it's been rough. It certainly has been rough. So we actually founded back in 2946 back on Earth, and we moved out here just because it's a lot more freedom and opportunities. The jump holes, jump points not being available has definitely stifled our ability to expand a lot of our operations. But we have really good working relationships with a lot of our clients, so we've been able to work, do a lot of workarounds and develop relationships over the last couple of years while we're waiting for things to come back online.
Interesting. You mentioned you do contract mining and salvage. Could you go into more of what that means?
Yeah, so a Care Mining Reclamation doesn't necessarily maintain a massive fleet to perform operations on our own. We work on behalf of our clients. They may ask for us to provide additional bodies, additional equipment, so they can perform economic activities in areas that traditionally they may have either had issue operating in or not been able to operate in at the capacity that they desired.
So, you would say you're an augmentation service or a boutique mining service?
I think both those words are actually very accurate. We do augment the capabilities of other entities and, again, allow them to perform operations that they may not have previously been able to. And we are, I think bespoke might be a better term.
So, new body and new armor. It's good to see you again.
Yes, deja vu. I feel like I've been in this place before.
Well, you know what they say about clones. Maybe the second time's around the charm, third, fourth, whatever.
Yeah, it's eventually that becomes a blur. So, yeah, welcome back to the last Stardust. And I guess we can pick up where we left off.
Indeed. Fortunately, we have quite a few of these armor setups sitting in our closet at Clio, so it's not terrible whenever incidents like that happen. So, as we were saying, fortunately, there's not much data loss thanks to our uplink with Clio. As we were saying, would you consider yourself a boutique mining and salvage operation instead of just a standard mining and salvage operation?
Yes, absolutely. I think actually a term I would probably use is bespoke. The AMR's ultimate intention is not to just be another mining or salvage org out there. Um, and we spoke briefly about this, but the term salvage. The reason we use the word reclamation is not just to not just a thesaurus substitution. Reclamation to us is reclaiming that which belongs to someone, namely our clients. So, unlike there's a lot of salvage firms out there. They do great work. We're not in any way dismissing the necessary job that they do, but in reclamation, what we intend to do is take those assets, those entities that belong to our clients, and bring those back in a way that economically supports their end goals. Whether that is a um, military or paramilitary client, or that is an industrial client. We want to make sure that those resources and those entities that are left out there in space return to who they belong to, and do so in such a way that is economically advantageous to them.
Interesting. And so anyone with a mining laser, even a handheld mining laser, can mine. It's not really that hard. Pick up a rock, you're a miner. Salvage is much more in depth. So, if you would, tell us more about your view on salvage.
Yes, so kind of to what I was just speaking of. We like to use the term reclamation over just salvage. Um, One thing I think that AMR really brings to the table is if you look at our board of directors, we're coming with the backgrounds in military, law enforcement, the wider intelligence community, and we're bringing skill sets to bear on the industrial problem set in such a way that allows us to operate and perform in environments that others will not or cannot. Um, when it comes to reclamation in particular, um, this is as you brought up with binding. If you give someone a torch welder, um, and they can go out and cut pieces off of a derelict ship. But if you need someone who can get into an environment that has complications, whether those are security related or environmentally related, and retrieve very important particular objects or entities that have extreme value and need to be treated in a way that prevents their compromise in any way. We want to be that entity that can do that, and a lot of organizations out there that do salvage aren't able to perform in those environments, and that's really where we try to set ourselves apart from our competition.
Interesting. And what, because you're looking to be hired, uh, and honestly, we enjoy getting our voice out there and bringing new business to organizations like yours. What kind of ships do you bring to bear for these kinds of jobs?
So, actually, I wish I had. So originally, I was going to have my um, joint counsel online for this. I don't feel comfortable speaking about our exact assets
Oh,
that
of
we
course,
bring
of
to the
course.
problems.
A
Um,
general. Uh,
I'll speak yeah, in general terms. Um, we have the capability, either through ourselves, our uh, contract affiliates, or subcontractors, to bring a number of assets to bear on a given problem set that I believe, as the director of client services, that we are capable of bringing. the necessary assets to bear on the problem that will allow us to be successful in any environment that we are presented against.
Okay. So you would say it's flexible but sufficient.
Absolutely. And again, one of our strengths of being as we use the term, bespoke uh, entity against these problem sets, we are not limited to just what our internal capabilities are. We have the ability to leverage off of other, again, our contract affiliates and our subcontractors to really bring uh, the, a full scope of capabilities to bear against the problem set.
Okay, interesting. So you have the ability to tap other resources other than what you may have on hand.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, this brings us to recruitment. Every organization wants to expand. Um, we're guessing that you're probably no different in this. What would you say you would be looking for in a recruit who might find your mining and salvage organization enticing?
So one thing that we absolutely look for in all of our professionals is a sense of professionalism and a commitment to duty. We're not a paramilitary organization, but a lot of the people that we look to recruit, a lot of people we have on board, have the mindset that they are operating in environments that are extremely hazardous. We look for individuals who want challenges. They are not interested in. You brought up mining earlier, and anybody with a handheld mining laser can mine. Um, we want people who are capable and want to operate in environments where you don't, the ability to handle the mining laser that's the easy part. It's facing the environmental and security factors that make that environment exceptional, and exceptionally non-permissive, perhaps, and willing to operate in that environment no matter what the challenge is. And we're really looking for people who want to step up to the plate. They're not interested in just hanging back. Again, we're not a paramilitary organization. We're not looking for door kickers. We want people who have that mindset of rising to a challenge and performing at above their best.
Okay. Well, since it's so specialized, do you perform your own training in these avenues because it is such a niche? Because you don't want someone who is only focused on door kicking.
Yes, and this is where again we really love leveraging the many relationships we developed over the last 6 years. Again, we like to foot stomp, for a lot of orgs and that have sprung up in the last few years. We have been here since 2946. We're a small organization. We developed ourselves over time.
Okay.
We are, um, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I was going somewhere with that. Ask your question again. I'm sorry.
Do you offer training for your new recruits?
Right, training. Yes. So this is where we leverage the alliances and relationships that we have built over the last 6 years. I'm gonna have to give a shout out here. So Northfield and AMR are both part of the Tau Alliance. This was a treaty that we signed and agreed to all the way out in the Nix system on Levski. We developed I don't want to say it's not a governmental relationship, but it is a close packed entity that allows all of us to share tactics, techniques, procedures that we've developed internally, and we share those among our members. So yes, AMR does perform a lot of internal training, but a lot of that internal training is built off of the experiences of a lot more than just what we have in house.
Okay, okay. Well, because there's potentially quite a bit of money involved with mining and especially some of the more rare rocks and salvaging can be quite lucrative. What is the split? I mean, is there a director cut versus someone who's just new on the boat? What's the split look like?
So one thing AMR ultimately prides itself upon is that we are an employee-focused company. Um, we consider anyone who is part of our company, whether they're one of our full-time employees or one of our contractors, you're part of the team. Um, we One of the reasons we left UE space, and I do realize Stanton is still technically UE, but this is corporate space out here. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
One of the reasons we left that was we didn't want to be another company that just answers to stockbrokers on Terra Prime. We don't want our employees to simply be tools of some stockbroker who has no connection to the actual work. Again, I'm here as the director of client services. I have licenses to fly moles, prospectors. This is my ship. I pilot this vessel. The directors are as involved with the company as our employees. And as such, we all take equal cuts.
So you're saying, Doctor, that the new guy on the ship gets the same cut as you do?
If he's putting in the work, absolutely. And that's really what it comes down to. If when we do a job, that job for that client is going to be evenly divided. The company, of course, has to take a percentage of that cut, and that is to keep vessels like this afloat. But if one of our employees or even one of our contractors has a situation where our operations have cost them money, we're going to step in and make sure that they're taken care of. We don't want to leave anyone out. And it is my intention, as long as I sit on the board of directors, to ensure that that never happens. That every one of our employees, every one of our contractors is taken care of, regardless of the circumstances.
So you're saying that there's everyone on the ship gets a cut, and the ship also counts as an employee. It gets a cut as well.
I don't want to actually get into exactly how we do our cuts, but that is a very accurate way of looking at it.
Well,
Equipment
we've done several of these interviews, and we hear something similar. It's organizations don't like to get into the minutia, but this is how it was explained to us before: is the ship is kind of like an employee because it has operating costs and it brings in money, but it also costs money. So it gets a cut, but its cut is also, divvied up as well.
Right, and so just to that point, one area where we've noticed that subcontractors get kind of screwed over in these instances is that if you're a subcontractor, you're operating your ship, you incur certain costs: fuel costs, repair costs, maintenance costs. A lot of times, people who employ subcontractors they're going to cut you a check, and then it's your responsibility out of that check to account for all of your costs. And a lot of times that ends up with subcontractors holding the short end of the stick. We want to ensure that we're completely fair to, if you're an employee with us and you're bringing your own vessel in or a company vessel in, that we're not treating our subcontractors any different. If there are costs associated with the work that we're doing, those costs will be covered by the company. That comes out of everyone's split. And when we finally divide up the total cost of the operation and the total profits, that no one is left out in the cold.
That's very good to hear. Well, someone who hears this, how would they sign up?
So one of our 100% of the time, I will always direct everyone to our web portal. That is, you can access that through www.acera-mining-reclamation, all one word, all lowercase, .com. From there, we have an application. If you submit the application, it will be reviewed by our HR department, and assuming you have the credentials and what we're looking for, we will reach out to you, and from there, we will start an interview process. We don't just hire anyone off the street. That's one of our things we say small because we want the best people working for us. We also same option for those who want to be independent, but might be interested in being one of our subcontractors. Same process. Apply on the web portal, and our HR department reaches out to you.
And that would be www.acare. Is that correct, Doctor?
Yes.
We're just checking. Some of our listeners are not so good at spelling.
Yeah, no, right. Yes. I'll spell the full thing.
Fortunately, we have Oracle to spell check all of our stuff before we release it, so
Right.
we're very fortunate.
No. So the web portal is www.acera-mining-reclamation.com.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Well, the organization, of course, being long-term as it is, it's already 5 years on from its founding, has goals. What would the organization's goals be?
Ultimately, our goal is to be the premier, and in many ways we feel that we already are, but we intend to stay the premier asset retrieval and contract mining service in any security environment. And the thing we think we have over our competition and will maintain over our competition is our ability to operate in those environments that are not permissive to our competitors.
Okay. Well,
We never intend to be the largest organization on the block. We never intend to, control entire segments of the market. We want to be that very precise instrument that our clients can rely on to perform their most complicated task in the industrial problem set.
usually in these instances, we have questions from readers, and Oracle sends them straight to our visor. However, currently what we're seeing come across are things like dig a hole miner and anyone can dig. So we'll skip that portion. In exchange, however, we'll give you a chance. Every organization has supporters and detractors. This is the part where we like to give you a chance to respond to those who support you and those who may not so much. So,
Oh,
if you could talk
what-
if you could talk to your supporters, what would you say to them?
Well, to anyone who is either a client, a contractor, subcontractor, a care mining reclamation, we appreciate the dedication you have. We appreciate the capabilities that you bring to the table. We will always respect you as an individual, as a entity, and we will always perform at our best to support you and your mission set.
And of course, to your detractors, you would say.
So I'm a fan of very old media, just always have been. So there is a early 20th century motion picture, and I'm going to quote it. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Oh. Wow, you had to reach way back in the old Terran archives. Impressive.
I have literally petabytes of early 20th and 21st century films.
As you were starting it, our simulated intelligence was flipping through her archives, and she's saying that comes from something called Gone with the Wind?
Yes, and I'm sorry, I quote offhand the year it was produced, but yes, I believe that was the film.
Well, she's usually really good at hunting that stuff down a lot faster than we can. Benefit of being a simulated intelligence is you can just absorb incredible amounts of information. We, again, time is money. We appreciate you taking the time to sit here and just have this conversation with us and explain your business model, explain your organization, and just...
Well, we appreciate you coming out.
Well, outside of the little hiccup that we had and needing to get all new bodies, it's
Right.
been a lot of fun, and it's not often we get to have an interview on a Carrack.
I mean, to me, it's one of the greatest ships the Anvil has produced. This is actually used to be the UEN Crepuscular was the original ship, and we purchased it at auction, retrofitted it with a bit of an enhanced sensor suite and a communication suite, and I think it was only, oh god, it was probably only like 6 months ago that we actually got her name changed to Last Stardust.
Well, we, of course, can't say anything bad about Anvil. Our first ship that we were doing weather on was Anvil Terrapin, and she's still probably our favorite. So, Doctor, thank you so much. And from all of us here at FastForecast, we wish all of you out there a very good night.
Oh yeah, 'cause I'm a weatherman.